It usually doesn't start with something obvious. There's no clear warning sign, no dramatic moment where everything suddenly breaks. It begins quietly, almost invisibly. One day, someone who used to be warm with you starts to feel distant. Their tone changes. Their patience gets thinner. The same person who once made you feel safe now somehow makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells. And the first thing your mind does is blame yourself. You replay conversations. You analyze your words. You wonder what you did wrong, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Why would someone hurt the person who cares about them? Why would someone slowly become the source of pain in a place that once felt like home? But what if the answer isn't what you think? What if sometimes the reason someone hurts you has very little to do with you? There's something deeply uncomfortable about real love. Not the idea of it, not the fantasy we grow up with, but the actual experience of being seen, understood, and cared for. Because real love doesn't just bring comfort. It also exposes everything we've been trying to hide from ourselves. And for some people, that exposure feels dangerous. You see, not everyone learned love in a safe way. For some, love was unpredictable. It came with conditions. It came with silence, rejection, or emotional distance. Maybe they were ignored when they needed attention the most. Maybe they were made to feel like their emotions were too much. Or maybe love was there, but didn't last. So they adapted. They built ways to protect themselves. They learned to expect disappointment. They trained their minds to stay alert, to avoid getting too attached, to never feel too secure. Because in their experience, the moment you feel safe is often the moment everything falls apart. Now imagine what happens when someone like that meets genuine kindness. At first, it feels good. It feels different. There's a sense of relief, maybe even hope. But slowly, something else starts to happen underneath. The kindness begins to feel unfamiliar. And what's unfamiliar can feel unsafe. It's not logical. It's not conscious. But deep inside, their mind starts asking questions they don't even realize they're asking. Why is this person so good to me? When will this change? What if I get used to this and then lose it? And instead of sitting with those fears, instead of understanding them, they react. Sometimes that reaction looks like distance. Sometimes it looks like irritation over small things. Sometimes it looks like starting arguments that don't really make sense. And sometimes it looks like hurting the very person who is trying to love them. Not because they want to destroy the relationship, but because part of them is trying to protect itself from a pain it believes is inevitable. It's like their mind is saying, if this is going to end anyway, I'd rather be the one who breaks it first. And that's where it becomes confusing. Because from your side, it feels unfair. It feels undeserved. You showed up with honesty. You gave your time, your energy, your care. And instead of that being appreciated, it somehow became the reason things started falling apart. But from their side, it's not about you failing. It's about something inside them being triggered. There's a pattern that happens here, and it's quieter than people realize. When someone carries unresolved pain, especially from earlier relationships or childhood, they don't just forget it. It stays in the background, shaping how they react to closeness, trust, and emotional safety. And when they finally meet someone who treats them well, that old pain doesn't disappear. It wakes up, because now, for the first time, they're in a space where it can come out. It's strange, but sometimes people don't express their deepest pain in unsafe places. They express it where they feel just safe enough to let it surface. And unfortunately, that often means they express it with the person who least deserves it. You might notice it in small things at first. Delayed replies, a sudden shift in tone, moments where they seem present and then suddenly disconnected. You try to understand. You give them space. You stay patient. But over time, it starts affecting you. You begin to feel anxious. You start questioning your worth. You become more careful with your words. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to lose the version of yourself that entered the relationship with confidence and openness. This is the hidden cost of loving someone who hasn't made peace with their past, because their internal chaos becomes your external reality. And the hardest part is you can see their pain. You can feel that they're not okay. You can tell that something deeper is going on, which makes it even more difficult to walk away. Because now it's not just about what they're doing, it's about why they're doing it. And you start telling yourself things like, they just need time, they've been through a lot. If I stay patient, things will get better. But there's a truth that's difficult to accept. Understanding someone's pain doesn't mean you should absorb it. There's a difference between empathy and self-abandonment. And when you blur that line, you end up sacrificing your own emotional well-being in the name of trying to heal someone else. The reality is, people who hurt others aren't always cruel at their core. Many of them are overwhelmed, confused, carrying emotions they don't know how to process. But that doesn't change the impact of their actions. Pain that isn't healed doesn't stay contained. It spreads. And if someone isn't aware of their patterns, if they're not willing to face what's inside them, they will keep repeating the same behavior, no matter who they're with. That's why you can't love someone into healing. You can support them. You can understand them. You can even stand by them for a while. But you cannot do the work for them. And if they're not doing it themselves, nothing you give will ever feel like enough. Because the issue isn't a lack of love. It's an inability to receive it. And that's something only they can change. There comes a point where you have to stop asking, why are they doing this to me? And start asking, why am I staying in something that keeps hurting me? That shift is important because it brings your focus back to where it belongs, on yourself. You deserve consistency. You deserve to feel safe in the presence of someone who says they care about you. You deserve a kind of love that doesn't leave you confused at the end of the day. And choosing that doesn't make you selfish. It makes you aware. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is step back. Not because you don't care, but because you finally understand that caring for someone shouldn't mean losing yourself. And maybe that's the part no one talks about enough. That sometimes love isn't about staying and fixing. Sometimes it's about recognizing when something is beyond your control and having the strength to walk away from what keeps breaking you, even if part of you still hopes it could have been different. So if you've ever felt hurt by someone who once felt like home, don't rush to blame yourself. Look deeper. Not everything painful is a reflection of your worth. Sometimes it's a reflection of wounds that were there long before you arrived. And once you see that clearly, you stop chasing answers from them and start finding peace within yourself. If this made you think about your own experiences, don't ignore that feeling. Sit with it. Reflect on it. And if you're ready, share your thoughts. Because sometimes the first step to breaking a painful pattern is simply understanding that it exists.